Welcome to MB Tool Reviews. Today on the channel we're doing a review of the DCF620P2K. This is a collated drywall gun, but it's also separately a normal drywall screw gun. It detaches like so. This is part of a kit that I purchased and I unboxed it in my last video, so if you want to go and check that out, it'll be somewhere up in the top corner there. Essentially, I wanted to wait to review it before I'd done some jobs with it. Obviously, I can't review it if I haven't used it. So it's been about 3 to 4 months now, and I'm sure some of you have been waiting for this. I've been waiting to put this video out for ages, but I had to do the jobs first. I had a couple of small repair jobs, a couple of patch-up jobs, and a new install of a small ceiling. I've got more jobs lined up ahead for this tool. However, these are the ones I can get footage of at the moment. So I've included a couple of different videos in this video, a couple of clips for you to watch. One of me installing plasterboard or drywall with normal collated drywall screws or plasterboard screws, standard classic ones, into a timber frame on a ceiling. And then a second video of a patch-up repair on a metal stud ceiling, and on that metal stud ceiling using metal collated screws. I think there may be some footage of me using some wood screws or some standard plasterboard screws in that video as well, because I've put some wood up in there to batten it out as well. So I will show you the two videos and then I will talk you through my thoughts and opinions on this tool. Okay, so this first video is me here battening out this ceiling, a couple of screws into battening with some standard plasterboard screws. Now some metal stud screws going in here. There was some metal studs above this ceiling. As you can see, screws going nice and easy. And then I think here, so you'll see here I struggle a bit. And this is purely based on the angle, so tight to the wall. I was leaning over and it was a bit of a struggle. Apologies for the camera angles here. I'm up a ladder with one hand sort of on the tool and one hand trying to hold the camera. So as you can see, some of the screws don't go in properly. It's purely the way I'm holding the drywall driver. As you can see, that one just fires in nice and neat. Overall, these were going in pretty well as long as I had the drill flush to the surface. So again, just some standard drywall screws going in here onto some wood batten which is above the ceiling, which I've added in for stability on the joint. Misfire there. Again, a lot of this is down to me and just not really being used to using this tool. This is the second time I've used this tool. So out of about 20 screws here, I think I misfired maybe 3 or 4. A couple misfires there. We're on to the second ceiling, and this is just me plasterboarding out a ceiling, wood stud above, and again one misfire there. This was the actual first time I had picked up this tool and used it. As you can see, it's firing away beautifully. Actually, didn't quite have the tool perfectly flush to the surface there, and still going in nicely on the wood. So it's a bit repetitive. Obviously I'm just showing you me firing in all these screws, but just wanted to demonstrate exactly how well the tool works, and at speed as well. So you can see there the wood stud and me firing the screws, no problems. Misfired there because I went too close to the edge. So the misfires on this one were purely down to the adjustment, which I'll talk about that in a second when we come back to the video. Once I got a hang of the tool, screws were flying in. Again, I can only apologise for the camera angles in this job. So you've just watched the two videos there. Again, apologies for the camera angles on both of the videos. On the metal collated screws, you can see it fired in no problems, with the exception of maybe one or two screws, which was again user error on my part. It's the way I was holding the attachment. Rather than butting up flush against the workpiece, the drill was slightly off to one side or the other, which of course is not going to fire it in dead straight if you've got it off to an angle. So whilst I'm holding the camera and the screw gun and up a ladder, it made it quite awkward and one or two misfired. The same again with the drywall screws in both videos. In the standard drywall screws, you'll see that there's a couple of misfires. That is either from me holding this at a funny angle, or on a couple of them it's the first few screws I put in which I hadn't adjusted this depth adjustment correctly. So I have it about in the middle right now. At the time I don't think I had it quite adjusted correctly, and I probably had a couple of screws that were a little bit proud of the surface. I also wasn't pushing hard enough with this, I don't think, because it was the first few that I fired in. So I would say if you're going to use this, obviously make sure it's butted up nice and flush against the workpiece and give it a good solid push, and make sure the trigger is held down before you do so, or else you're going to bite the screw, and it's just not going to work. So yeah, definitely push in the trigger, butt this up nicely against the workpiece, and then proceed to fire in the screw. With that said, I do think this is a great tool overall. If you said, would I buy it again? Yes, I would. I would definitely buy it again. What I will say is, at the current price, which is now £295 on Amazon, it may be slightly more or less depending on where you shop around, but I purchased this at £270. So at £290 or £295, I'm not sure, because there is also a newer version of the drywall screw gun out, which has an automatic feeder, I believe, in which rather than pushing down the trigger and using the drywall collated attachment, once they're together and you just push on the collated attachment, the gun automatically starts up. So slightly more advanced technology, newer model. I don't know why Dewalt are raising the prices, or Amazon have raised the price of this, which is an older piece of kit. I probably would think that you might want to look at the newer model first, depending on whether it's in your price range. At the time of purchasing this kit, this was significantly cheaper, and the Dewalt screw gun, the newer version, with this same collated attachment, I couldn't find it with either the batteries or, you know, as a whole kit, because I don't have any other Dewalt tools. So this is my first Dewalt tool, and I have to say, for a first Dewalt tool, it's extremely impressive. I was very happy with it, and I would probably look at purchasing some other Dewalt tools, so you may see them on the channel in future, as I now have a range of different brands: Milwaukee, Makita, Dewalt, Hikoki, various other brands. I'm not brand specific, so this has led me into the start of the Dewalt tools. So yeah, so keep an eye out for those. So I definitely would buy this again. The price is a bit of an issue at the moment. Hopefully that goes back down or goes on sale again if you're looking to purchase it. That is probably all for today. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions about this tool or any other tools, please leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. Please remember to give this video a like and please remember to subscribe. Thank you very much.